What's happening, guys? Today we got Hamburg versus Blackburn, and today I wanted to talk about Ruud van Nistelrooy and his possible return to the English Premier League on, I believe it's free transfer. He said he's open to a Premier League return, and he's offered a come get me type of clause, I guess, for him. So anyone who wants him goes after him, and he goes to whoever he thinks suits him best. And at the moment, from what I've heard, we've got two teams in the running for it: Blackburn and Tottenham. Now, Tottenham are kind of looking at him as a second, third, maybe fourth choice behind people like Drogba and Adebayor, but he's also on their list. But Blackburn are the more likely candidate, but that could be a potential problem for a team such as Blackburn, considering they may get relegated this week for the kind of play they've been having. They're 1 point from the bottom, and it's a very real possibility that they get relegated, considering they're playing away this weekend to Wolves, who need points to keep out of the bottom. So the possibility of them getting relegated and losing a player like Van Nistelrooy is a very likely possibility. But as of now, Van Nistelrooy seems more likely to head to Blackburn than it does Tottenham. But there are plenty of teams in the Premier League in need of strikers, and I imagine a couple of them will look at Van Nistelrooy, possibly Aston Villa, depending on what happens with that team. Sunderland, possibly, considering they may not sign Mutari back. He may not come back as a player for them. Those sorts of teams, I imagine, are going to look at him. He has a great record of scoring. I mean, first or second in the Champions League in most goals scored with Raul. I don't know quite the order between the two. I know he's won the Golden Boot 3 different times. He won it in the Premier League, he's won it in the Bundesliga, and I believe he's won it in La Liga, if not Serie A. So he's obviously a prolific goal scorer, and he's still scoring pretty well over at Hamburg. And he's not necessarily young, but he's still got a couple years left in him, and he can very well help a team such as Tottenham or such as Blackburn in the short running. And for a team like Blackburn, they might not even be looking to contend. They may be looking for some tickets. Ticket sales, kind of like if you watch the NFL, American football, then you know that the Buffalo Bills picked up Terrell Owens, and I know for a fact they weren't trying to contend, that they were trying to get some people in the seats there, sell some tickets, and that may be Blackburn's angle. You never know. I mean, if they've got the money to spend on transfers, say for selling players and whatnot, and they don't net lose any money over Van Nistelrooy, and they sell more tickets and play better possibly just because he's on the team, then hey, it's a success for them. And if they move up the table, maybe mid-table, maybe 8th or 7th or 8th, where the last where the last Europa League spot is most years, then hey, that's possible for them. And it's possible, yeah. And for them, that can be a humongous deal, especially money-wise for a club such as Blackburn. But if you ever saw Van Nistelrooy play, he has a knack for finding the back of the net. As I've told you earlier, he's won the Golden Boot in 3 different countries as one of the most prolific goal scorers in Champions League history. And he's just a a talent to watch back when he was back in at United. He scored like mad, and it's odd with these Dutch players. The Dutch players play where in playing the Netherlands for a little bit, and out of nowhere they burst into different leagues and they go absolutely crazy goal scoring. It seems players that come out of the Dutch league are absolutely crazy scorers most times, like Dirk Kuyt and possibly I guess Van der Vaart, Suarez, those kind of players that come out of that Dutch league, the Eredivisie, I believe it's called. They can score, and there's just something about the Dutch that they're so technically gifted that anybody who plays attacking football from the Netherlands is bound to score some goals. They're all extremely technically gifted, and sometimes there's just nothing you can do about them scoring. No matter what you do, you know it's coming, but they're gonna score anyway. And that's kind of how Van Nistelrooy's always been. But yeah. But since this video is crazy long, might as well talk about some other things I've heard as of now. The other day, we heard a rumor about Manchester City going after Ronaldo, and there have been so many rumors linked with City and their humongous players and the huge players they've been attempting to go get. But so I'm trying to figure out where in God's name all this money is gonna come from. I know they're gonna sell a couple players, but Jesus, what is it? I know they're gonna. What they were thinking about offering. Offering. I don't even know what the number was. I've heard 60 million, I've heard 65, and I've heard 55. But all those other players they've been looking at, Ibrahimovic, it's going to cost money. He's a huge player. I mean, that's 100 million right there. So those two players, and I just don't know where this money is going to come from. Also today, Liverpool were linked with Charles Nzogbia, and I've heard a lot of people saying that could be a nuisance, and a lot of people think he's mediocre. And I've seen him play, and I think he's above air. I think he's the best winger in the bottom half of the table there, and he can very well be one of the top 6-7 wingers in the league. I mean, that's just my opinion, of course. Don't take that the wrong way, but people are taking this link with Nzogbia the wrong way. Like, oh, we can go better, but I can almost guarantee you that Nzogbia is 5th, 6th on the list behind Mvia and Mata and Jesus Navas, Ashley Young. I mean, all those players are right in front, and I just can't see Liverpool signing Nzogbia as a first. I mean, maybe if he's still there toward the end of the transfer window and we haven't signed a huge player or one of those big wingers, maybe then we'll go after Nzogbia. But maybe if Wigan go down, maybe the price will drop. I mean, now it's 7 mil. If Wigan go down, all the money they're going to lose, he may drop to, I've heard 4, 3.5. I mean, a player of his caliber at 3.5 is a good deal, and 3.5 million can come from many places. I know the new company, or the new Red Sox owners, are willing to spread around the money, or splash around the money this offseason. and I don't think 3 million will be too much for them, especially considering I think we can get that money from selling our players like Bolson. I know Bolson will go for 5 or 6. Vanovich will go for 2. Kyriakos can go for 2. I mean, those numbers, to me, I don't think that number at the moment will hold up with Nzogbia. I know Wigan don't want to let him go, but if Wigan were to get relegated this weekend, then I think they're going to have no choice but to let him go. I know they're going to lose all that money. There's not too much money there to begin with, but I know West Ham lost 40 million just from relegating, and there's not too much money there left at Wigan to go ahead and fool around with wages and whatnot, especially with players that high. And I know Nzogbia is not going to want to stay there. I mean, not a lot of players are going to want to sit there at Wigan Athletic to play in the championship next year and deal with that for the next 2-3 years if they don't come up immediately. But I think this Nzogbia thing will blow over personally, and I think Liverpool will end up getting one of those big wingers I was talking about earlier in the video. But I think Nzogbia, if Wigan go down, I think Nzogbia will be a good fit to someone mid-table at the moment. Good bench player, if not a good, decent player. A good player. I mean, he may be bench, he may be starter, he may be whatever. I think he'll be a good attachment to some of these teams. But that's it, guys. Hope you entertained. 6-4 Hamburger, you know. Yeah, guys. Hopefully we'll get to see Van Nistelrooy next year. I know I'm looking forward to it if he does. So yeah, guys, peace.